in the first place. So even if like maybe all these people supporting this no DNA whatever and the rest, I know they don't even actually know the law. They are just sitting on the fact that they are hearing people say who can demand for DNA, who can demand for DNA. The police can demand for DNA. The police have the power to investigate a crime. And if by sitting on the voice notes, the issue of the statement of Prime Boy with respect to talking about the paternity of the child, and then the issue of with respect to saying I will deal with this person or that person, and all of that. If it is not enough for the police to use that as the ground to commence of DNA as part of the investigation activities with respect to the alleged death of Mohbad, then I don't think maybe we should prefer Boy Scouts. We should prefer Boy Scouts, or maybe let's even maybe private security people around to start enforcing the law, doing the investigation and all of that, because the police have just shown that it does not, its agents don't know what they are doing generally. So, and then these people coming up and going up and down to claim that don't talk about Baba Mohbad, or don't talk about this or that. Like me personally, I don't even see anything wrong in talking about whoever it is that is on this case. No matter who the person is, nobody is restricted from commenting on case as such. And if the authorities know what they are doing, by now, nobody in that family will even be telling another person not to talk about the case, not to talk about the agents of those persons coming to talk to people that people should not talk about the case. It is because the case has still shown that the authorities on this case have not done the right thing to show that this case is within the jurisdiction of the state, not the family. So we don't even we haven't even concluded who is guilty or not. So speaking on the case is nothing illegal, and it is nothing wrong. But because the public authority have already decided to sell itself by not doing the right thing to let people understand that this case is under the authority of the state to deal with, not the family. And that is why we still have issue of people talking team this or team Baba Mohbad or team who or team that and all of that. Because most of these people, they think that the case is just for the family. So when you're doing something, they think that you're trying to side any person or something like that. So it's very, very shameful. Like I will always say, it's very, very shameful before international communities and people that are coming up to come and see the end of this case. And there is one thing I always used to say, and I am sure we will get this communicated to so many people. Whoever is on this case should know that even if tomorrow, for example, this case is being compromised and all of that, we have already gotten every evidence within our reach. We will also write on it. When we write on it, you can only decide to do whatever you want to do and sit on it, knowing it is wrong. But you cannot force other people to accept that that particular wrong you did is right. Right? So by law, maybe let's say, for example, the court adjudicates and give a judgment that is unfair, maybe as a result of negligence, intentional negligence conduct on the part of investigation and all of that. We will still write it down. I'm sure every person outside Nigeria, from this moment, listening to this case, know that there are so many compromises going on this matter. So in the end, all this evidence will be compiled, all this evidence will be put down in writing, and the world will consume it. Even if, let's take for example that I maybe myself and I took maybe let's say Iron Lady to court, and then I say she's owing me something. I put my evidence, and then the court decide to say no, she's not owing you, because the court has that jurisdiction to do whatever it wants to do. Maybe take for example is the highest court in the land, and there is no opportunity for appealing again, right? Now I can't do anything, but any other person that read that particular case will know the truth of the matter and will know that the court compromised, and that will be the motive, that will be the whole description that will be in the mind of the general public about that particular authority that gave that judgment. So we are going to be looking at it and be doing the same thing on this case of Mohbad. Whatever is happening, we will be documenting. We know whatever they are going to do, and then in the end, let's see if they succeed to compromise and do whatever it is. We also play our own part on the other side to let any person, the generations coming and the international communities, to know the truth about what is going on. So I think that's that for now.
Thank you for that. SA, you want to talk?
Yeah, now my own is that I pray the result come out where everybody will see it very clear. That is all my own for now.
Thank you. I'm hoping for positive results this time, but my heart is telling me to hope for the worst. I mean, to expect the worst and hope for the best. So I'm not putting a lot into this. I'm expecting to get the same thing that the government gave us. I'm not really sure what I should be thinking at this point, because this case is going left to right, down, everywhere. Nothing's consistent. Gabby, you can talk.
Yeah, you're not going to be wrong when you think in that direction, to be sincere. And because I also believe that almost every person, think the same way or on the same direction as you, because it's already showing that they're trying to compromise. So, and any person that think towards that direction is thinking right. Exactly, the person is actually thinking right.
Let's just pray to get the best results.
Definitely that is our prayer. That is why we are all here advocating for the right thing to be done. And I pray that the right thing is being done. But just like I think you rightly said before I come on, the issue of transparency, this issue of doing things hidden and all of that, that is one other thing that is killing the country. The principle of checks and balance between authorities it only exists in words, like not in action. I even don't know if I've ever seen a situation where this principles of checks and balance have this major effects on any important stuff in this country yet. I've not seen like. But
I'd like to reply to this Omotunde. He says you guys are too negative, and that's not what I'm trying to say. I don't want to put my heart and soul into this, and then when it comes wrong, I get my heart broken. You're going to be the one to get your heart broken, not me. I don't let myself get emotionally involved just for that reason. I don't want to have my heart broken when I get the bad news. So I'm suspecting bad news, but I'm hoping for the best.
Sorry. Hello, everybody. Hello, Supreme Energy, Mama Essay, Amin, Thunderfire. The thing is, see, when these people say these things, it's because they're here to just catch crews and like daily entertainment. But to most of us, it's very upsetting. So we are like preparing ourselves for more heartache kind of thing, like putting our guard up. Yeah.
Exactly. I just prepare myself for the worst and hope for the best. This way here, when the worst happens, I'm not going to be so affected by it. Be clear what next. Not sit here and cry and be falling on the floor because our results were bad again. I'm prepared.
Thunderfire. I pray the best.
I understand you. I pray for the same thing, but in reality, I'm a realist. In reality, I don't let my heart get involved, so I don't get hurt by it. It's the same scenario when two people are in a relationship and somebody gets hurt. They block themselves out for the next time. They end up going into another relationship with a closed heart because they don't want to get hurt again.
Exactly. And also, I just saw that Baba was at Brekete this morning.
Baba was at Brekete?
Yes. Yeah.
Live this morning.
Did you watch it?
He's at Brekete. I just saw Comfy's post on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh. Maybe they want to read the result then.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, the results this week.
Okay. That is good, man.
That's really good.
Yeah. Let's watch and see.
I'm excited for Monday now.
So does that mean that pathologist came from Brekete? Or is it from a different part of Nigeria that people were talking about?
I think I was told they did too.
Okay, well, maybe later we'll hear about that Brekete visit again.
Let me go look on YouTube.
Okay. Aries, did you have something to say?
Who's this person on the comment section that says MOHB case is not clear?
I was sleeping. I dozed off. Sorry, guys. Well, I heard what you said, though. I was hearing it in my sleep. You said, you rather keep an open mind so you don't get disappointed. And I think in this case, this is how we're supposed to do it. Keep an open mind. We don't need money for anything. Autopsy and toxicology, they already did. They already paid the pathologists and did them. What are they using money for? Learn to ask questions. Ask them questions.
Thank you, Aries, and you're welcome to go to sleep if you like. I appreciate you coming up and reading that autopsy report.
Yeah, I'm sleeping here. I woke up so. I'm sleeping. I'll still be in the box.
Okay. All right.
She's going to sleep now.
Well, she's been going on and off, but she's going to stay in the box and listen until she actually starts snoring.
And be in the box.
Amen. You see, the reason why I am the way that I am is because I'm also in a case myself here in America with my 2-year-old grandson who was killed. The prime suspect is the father and the suspect is the mother. Until this day, it's been 3 years now, June 9th, and there's still no arrest. And the autopsy report said blunt force trauma to the abdomen and neglect, but yet no one has been arrested. And things are quiet because this is not a public case. It's a little bit different, but still to this day, no one has been arrested. So it's kind of put me in a frame of mind to not put my emotions into anything, because then I'll just walk around with a broken heart all the time, and I refuse to do that. So as far as the MOHB case goes, I am using that same thing to not put my heart into it. Even though I feel badly for the whole thing and for MOHB, I can't put my heart into it when everyone else is not doing the right thing to get justice for him. So as far as these reports go, I'm not putting my heart and soul into positive results when they may come negative, and I have another broken heart. So that's the reason why I am the way that I am.
Yeah, I'm sorry about your loss. Like, it's really painful. Like, I don't even know how to describe the situation. You know, trying to imagine how the situation was for you to this day, and then also still coming on this case to still make positive contributions. You're really, really strong. Like,
well, at the same time, I'm comparing how things were done here compared to how things were done in the MOHB case. See, DNA was done automatically in this case. As far as children go in any kind of a death case, whether it be the father, the mother, if there's children in that family, DNA is done automatically. So the way that Nigeria is doing things is ass backwards to me. DNA should have been done automatically because that child was in that house. And because, see, here in America, the mother and the father, even though they're prime suspect and suspects, they had 3 more children which are in the custody of the state. Now, because that child, Wumi's child, was in that house when that happened, child services were supposed to take the child and put the child with another family member or in this custody of the state during this process, and that's not being done either. This is the correct way of doing things. And
the mention of this was not a week ago or so, 2 weeks ago, and I said, why is the child still in the custody of Wumi? Why? Because as a matter of fact, even the child's life will be in danger, considering the aspects that we're talking about, an alleged murder case, of which, for example, today, if that child is not from MOHB, and the people involved know that if this truth gets out there, it will pin them more. They will not even hesitate taking out the child. That is one thing. And then I don't know, the welfare of the child, the interest of the child being put in place shows that there is another negligence on the part of ignoring the Child Rights Act. Is it not the right thing is it not the best interest of the child for the child's for the child to know his father from this moment? When this child grows up tomorrow and looks back at this case, what will the child think? So what is the best interest of the child that is even in play right now? Nothing. The child is not being considered at all. The state is not even considering the fact that the child, whatever it is doing. So now, if the child is needed for DNA to be done, and the DNA is not done, and the government does not see it that it is necessary to protect the child, then I don't know what is necessary. I don't know how the authorities are even dealing with the case. I don't even know if they are even thinking towards all these directions, or they are just intentionally ignoring the whole situation. What is in for the child? Is it because the child is in a situation now where he cannot fight for himself? But what have the states done in the interest of the child? There is nothing. So I don't know. It's very, very shameful. That child is supposed to be under government custody by now. The child is supposed to be under government custody. If that had happened, I think long ago would have been able to do this the DNA stuff and get done with it and proceed to other important things on this case.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. 1 minute. I don't know how to say your name. Eclistic. The thing is, I just saw someone in the comment section saying something about what law. But it's not about what law. The whole United States is about children. And if a crime happens in the house where children are present and living, when the cops are called, they automatically call child services. And child services will do their own investigations along with the police. That's just how it goes here. And if someone died in that home, children are removed by child services for the children's protection. Not that it has anything to do with Wumi, but that's just how children are supposed to be protected when a death happens in the house and a child is living. That's just how it is, and that's just how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be to protect the children. Because at this point, we don't know who did what, but that child was present in the house when it happened. The child should be in a protective area, another family member, or in protective custody of the state. That's how it should be until the investigation, until they figure out who should be charged. That's just the right way. I'm not attacking Wumi. That's just how it should be. Don't fight me. I will fuck you up. Period. When it comes to children, you can't fight me. Okay, you just can't. Eclistic, you can speak now.
I'm high on your part. So by the way, anyway, we do not need a soothsayer to tell us that the government has failed us in this case, because it's a very easy case. Even a blind person can see through this case and know that, this thing, there's something. Nobody didn't just die. There's something happened, and it has to, be amongst people that were close to him 72, 48 to 24 hours of his lifetime that actually did something to him. Because yesterday I was on Mercy Family platform, and I could hear they were analyzing the voice note that the voice record that MOHB was talking to Wumi, and they were breaking every single thing down. And I'm supposed to believe that these people actually know, Wumi knows them. At least there are people on that platform. It might not be all of them, but there are people that have personal relationship with them and know them one-on-one. And the things that they were saying about MOHB and Wumi's relationship, they thought they were kind of exonerating Wumi, but how I saw it was as if they were indicting her the more, because they were making people understand that they had a very toxic relationship, and there was no love. MOHB was abusive. MOHB was beating her up, and was a fraudster, was this, was that. And there's something they said again that actually, made me thinking. They said that about why MOHB was actually worried about the iCloud, the WhatsApp that was deleted and all of that, because there's possibility. They were saying it that it was a possibility, but how they were putting it was as if they were actually sure that what MOHB was worried about was, Wumi actually having something that, can actually destroy him if she should let it out. And one of them went as far as saying that it's not even about maybe there's cheating or maybe a record, because all this we're meant to understand that maybe there's this footage of when he was abusing her and someone Zidarusha or whoever recorded it. But someone there on that platform yesterday said that it's even as bad as maybe MOHB actually, taking someone's life, and there's a proof for that. That's what Wunmi, that he's in a custody that she actually took from his WhatsApp and whatever. So his worry was that was why he was really, really agitated and really, really angry, because he was not a good person. And I'm now thinking, could it be why this lady is being protected? What does she know about MOHB that even as transparent, as open as this case is, and we could see that this girl is supposed to be in custody until this investigation is done, and she's working freely? There must be something, and it really upsets me when this case is like this, because a lot should be happening. A lot should even if the police doesn't even want to work, the public, we have the power. But it's just so sad that everything is just stalling. It's just people are seeing this case as if is Baba's case. No, it's not Baba's case. This guy is gone. And yeah, basically, I just got so worried by what was said on that platform yesterday. All this while, I was meant to understand that MOHB was actually in love with me. But what they were trying to prove, and they also were proving that they had this relationship, they were in love and all of that. But what they said yesterday wasn't it? They were like, MOHB was even womanizing, cheating, and wasn't even taking care of me. He was using this money to please other women, and wasn't even taking care of his dad and all of that. And so I'm just kind of worried, and I just hope for the best. I just hope that at the end of the day, this guy gets justice. I just hope that, and that has been my prayer, and I cannot wait until that prayer comes to pass, to be honest. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your submission. Thank you very much for that submission. Amen, I see you unmute. You're welcome to speak.
Yeah. Just as she said, it's not far from that. For a case like this, just as she said, Wunmi is freely walking, doing whatever she wants to do. I don't know if there is any official restriction on her, and by experience, I would say probably there is none, since we do not know if she is even a suspect at the police station with respect to this case, that we would have said, okay, the police granted her bail, and part of the bail conditions may be restricting her traveling outside, or submitting her passport, or doing certain things, or prevent, or let's say ordering her not to do certain things, to take care of, to safeguard the interest of the child, And if that is that is not the case, then it looks like we are just playing around, because I don't know.
If she was marked as suspect, she would have spent time in jail with the rest of them. From what I understand, she's a witness. And as a witness, but this is a big mistake in the first place by putting her as witness, because she was there and she's the wife. She should have been prime suspect. But the reason she's walking free is because she's witness. They don't have her as committing a crime, or they don't have any evidence against her. That's the reason she's a witness. So she can walk freely. And I understand where this is coming from, because the case that I'm in, even though they are prime suspect and suspect, they are still walking free. They've never spent one day in the jail, because I don't understand part of it, we have the death results of blunt force trauma to the abdomen and neglect. Just neglect alone should have put him in jail. But there's still no arrest, no nothing. So I can't honestly say, oh, this is all Nigeria's fault, because we have our own issues here in the United States as well. For a 2-year-old child to have blunt force trauma to the abdomen, it had to take an adult to do such a thing. So why his ass isn't in jail, I don't know, because he died in the custody of the father. But the mother is a suspect because she was there the day before. And the coroner said that the injury happened within the 3 days of his death. So my daughter was there the day before while the child died in the father's custody. Why they are not in jail, I have no idea. But I can't blame everything on Nigeria, because USA has some of its own issues as well. Look at this lady who was just shot by the police for no reason. USA has its own issues as well. I don't want to sit here and blame Nigeria for everything that's going wrong. Mistakes are made everywhere in the world. So people like us need to bring these mistakes to the world. So you speak out about it, spread it around the world. And for those people who want to sit here and talk about bullying the Liam, it's not happening here on this platform. It hasn't happened. It's not happening. So don't come to me with that bullshit. When I'm talking about the child, I'm talking about child services and the safety of the child. That child should not be with Wumi, because that death happened in the house with her and with everyone else. That child should have been taken for its protection, given to a family member who lives outside the house or in child protective custody. So no one here is trying to bully a child. Not at all. That's just the way it's supposed to be. And Nigeria, from what I've seen in this case, has done everything wrong. Everything. Now, if anything happens to that child, the state should be responsible. Child protective custody should be responsible. Many people will be responsible. And I wish I was there to make sure that someone is held responsible. But that's my input on it.
Yeah, you see, I don't think anybody has ever bullied the child in question. I've not even heard anywhere. You know, when people are coming to say the child is being bullied, and all of that, all these things are just games. They are playing games. They are just trying to look for ways to distract any group they find talking, in the best interest of justice for this case. For what reason in the first place? Like, why will any person find any reason whatsoever to say anything bad of the child? Like, that is not even possible.
I personally have not seen that. I personally haven't seen it.
It's not even possible. You can't see it anywhere. How will somebody
I haven't seen it.
A child that does not even know left, right, nothing, and then any person will come to? It's not possible. Never has there been a time where any person is cursing that child. So any person saying that should go and recheck his or her mental stability. Nobody can insult that. It cannot even happen, because there is no basis, there's no reason whatsoever. If any person is talking about justice for Mohbad and the child of the issue of the child came up, the only thing this child has to do with this case is the issue of this paternity, protection of the child in case if something has a wrong may happen to the child, and all of that. So who is going to bully the child? That is not even possible. Now, back to the last speaker. This issue of suspects the suspect, the wife being a witness instead of a suspect, you now start to wonder why. You now start to wonder how, why, if she was present where this whole thing happened, like she has a double case unlike every other person on this case, because she was present and he spoke about her via voice record. Those are two things corroborating each other. But they chose to use certain persons in like on at the background of the whole thing when it started happening. They used these persons as suspects, and then we have someone who has a double issue, not just any kind of double issue, one corroborating the other. And then we are still getting on, we're still having situations where new facts are being unveiled, still corroborating the same thing again, establishing that there is a major issue between this particular person and the deceased and the victim. But this same person is still there as a witness. No, there is no any kind of order on this particular person to even make sure that he does not escape. And maybe the authorities want to say they are not aware of the fact that when no matter what is going on, at a point when any person realize that this case is going to be against me in the end, that is the point where the person will try to escape. It is natural. As at now, any person involved in this case will still try to, will keep on trying to play their cards, play their games, all of that and the rest. But when it gets to the point where the person realizes that it's no longer possible for that person to, evade the consequence on him or her, that person will find a way to escape. So what is the basis? The basis for even taking people in custody is the issue of prima facie case, whether there is a question for that person to answer, whether there is reasonable ground to believe that there is a particular commission of that crime. Nobody is arrested for the commission of the crime at that point. That when people were talking about, was it not on which platform? I think someone was saying all these people are presumed innocent and all of that. So talking about them online is just like saying whatever it is on infringing on their right and all of that. That is not how presumption of innocence work. The fact that these persons have been arrested and then taken in for investigation, that is what the presumption of innocence means. That is what it means. That is why you're not just arrested and taken to prison. You are arrested for questioning because you are presumed innocent. That is why you are not taken directly. You are not convicted. You are not punished immediately. So that is what that presumption of innocence means. Now, whenever a person is being arrested, is arrested on grounds of prima facie, whether there is reasonable cause to believe that there is an offense committed by this person. So if the victim, there is a voice recording where the victim is calling out certain person that if something happens to him, and then the person was still present at the point where that person died. And then the other aspect people are not talking about, we forgot that even the deceased also said, you and your family. Has the family of this particular person even ever been invited or interrogated? So which investigation activity is even going on? Which investigation activity? This is how long now? Everything that is supposed to be done is ignored. What is not supposed to be done, that's where you see these authorities jumping up and down. Like the host said, you're correct. Every country have their lapses. But the problem is that we have some doing more than the others. One or two things happening, sometimes you can say maybe it's just an error and all of that. But this country is making everything obvious. That is why you will see that we have situations where foreigners are in this country and then they are misusing the citizens of the country, and then when the citizens of the country make any complaint, the foreigners end up getting away with it, even though there is evidence that the foreigners were the ones that were wrong at that point. Why? Because the issue of bribe has eaten the country. The authorities will take bribe and do whatever it is. Even on the Berekete family, if you even go to check most of the cases they are working on and all of that. So many things are happening. Okay, now you can imagine that there is an ongoing planned protest. It will be very difficult for you to see that this protest end without people being hurt, for people that are fighting for their rights. But we have a case with glaring evidence pending for 8 months without anything tangible to show for it. You will see so many cases of people being killed. You talk about unknown gunmen, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And then you go to the prison, you see people who are in prison for offenses like the issue of assault, the issue of battery, common offenses like involving some financial transactions. Some cannot pay 10,000 to 20,000 naira as what is it called as the option of fine over the imprisonment. These people are there, but we have a case talking about an alleged murder with glaring facts, and nothing is being done for 9 months. So you can see where the problem is. There are cases that these people choose to deal with, and there are cases that they choose to ignore, and nothing will happen in the end. So we just keep on hoping that everything gets better. But the situation in this country is very, very bad. Like, it's very, very, very bad.
I agree with you. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I know I'm going through my own case, but it's not like this. Everything here in this case has been done wrong. It's been done wrong. Everything. People have been marked as witnesses that should have been marked as suspects, prime suspects. I'm like, whoa, this is all backwards. And it's obvious that it's an obvious cover-up, if you ask me. And I hate to see that. Poor MOHB, I feel bad for him that he didn't have, from what I'm seeing, he doesn't seem to have anyone who cared for him, who loved him completely. Everyone was using him for what he can give to them. And I think a smart person realized, to whoever knew what his income was, would know when a musician passes away, they usually become, even an artist of some kind, portraits, whatever. When they pass away, all of their things become more valuable. They become worth more. Because now everyone decided they want to buy all of MOHB's music. I mean, all around the world, including myself. So all that money is coming in. And where is that money going? Where is it going? So everyone, they had to have known it'd be worth more passed and alive. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that they were, I don't know. This is a crazy case. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I've never seen people sitting trying to protect the prime suspect. I've never saw that. My daughter and the father of the child are prime suspects and suspect. Do you think I'm sitting here trying to protect my daughter for doing what she did? Or for being there, maybe knowing something and she's not talking about it? I'm not trying to protect her. Daughter or not, that was my grandchild. And you're keeping your mouth shut? Not happening. Not happening. I'm not going to protect someone who may just be guilty. Until she's proven innocent, I don't want nothing to do with it. That's just the way it is. I know I seem like a cold-hearted person, but that's just the way it is. You took a child's life. You took someone's life. God put people here, not for you to take it away. So that's just how I feel. Gabby, did you like to talk?
Yeah, I just went back on Facebook for Comfy's post. I know I can't find it. So I went on YouTube and I checked if Repete was live today. He was 8 hours ago. But in the audience, I can't see him either. But he came up on my news feed, so I don't know whether it was an old post. And she's Comfy's got like a braided wig on. And I'm looking and I can't see it.
Well, if you all want to listen to what Comfy Comfort has to say, you'll be led down the wrong path half the time.
Yeah, true. All I'm seeing is the barely videos at the moment.
With a small bench on the outside, creating a cozy.
I think these guys just like someone like said on the comment section, opportunists, you know. Just the way the hosts have addressed with respect to his music, you know, and all of that, you know, the price go up and all of that. They most likely will be looking at, you know, sharing the proceeds of all of those stuffs and the rest. And they will not be doing that going by the law. And if the authorities even know what they are doing from the beginning, they should have known that immediately this guy passed away, any music that he released under this his new record label, Immortalization, the family don't have any right to touch any dime from whatever is made. The state must be responsible for everything, keeping it intact, and then whoever needs to take from that, it has to follow the due process of law. Because if as long as that particular music label has been registered, there must be the proper documentations with respect to that. That means the record label has.
Yes, and it seems like everything's being done underground. Everything is underground, but yet it's a public case. It's a public case. Even the autopsy results in this massive...
Someone is looking at the situation to say, what if, let's say, we start making issue out of this whole process, and then the law takes its course, you know, nobody's going to get any money that has been made from his music and all of that. So I think some persons have access to everything with respect to this particular guy, with respect to how much he's making under a registered or music label. You know, so these things are very, 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 they are doing it intentionally, I think.
Yes, because this is supposed to be a public case. If you look at this massive autopsy result was read to the world, It was read out to the world. So why is this MOHB case so different? And as far as an inquest goes, that's only a fact finding. Why is it being sealed off when media can't come in? That's like secrets. Why are these all secrets? This is a public case. MOHB was a celebrity. This is a public case. Why are things being done that way? And here in America, we don't really have the inquest. We don't really have it that way. We have private investigators that do the investigating. The actual police are not doing the investigating. Private investigators that work with the police are doing the investigating. I can't say that they're always doing a good job because my case is a cold case now for 3 years, but I'm still waiting patiently. I'm not being emotional about it. Whatever happens. But I do hope one day for an arrest. They should have been arrested right from the very start if they were a prime suspect and suspect. But like I said, not everything goes the way it's supposed to go. But police are supposed to do their jobs. But we don't have all good police either. If you see that police officer that shot that woman, that was unjustified. Welcome, Kalmadine. Deo. Welcome. I'm showing some old photos. And we're talking about that shooting of Sonia Massey here in the United States and comparing it with MOHB's case. How everything with the MOHB case has been done so poorly and terrible. As you see, we had to wait 8 months for an autopsy and toxicology report for MOHB, while Sonia Massey's came out in a total of 11 or 12 days. Wow, look at the difference. You know what I mean? And this is also a public case because it was brought out to the public. The camera footage brought to the public. The autopsy report brought to the public. So what? I don't understand how Nigeria is doing their thing. It's a terrible thing how they're doing it. You know, and I'm suspicious that this next report will come back not the way we want it to. But I hope for the best. I'm just not going to let my heart get into it so I can get my heart broken. So is anyone else who would like to say something? Amen. Someone in the comment section, Vincia, she's asking if Nigeria has a probate court. I believe so, because that has to do with properties. They should, right, Amen?
Yeah, they do. You know, earlier on, I discussed about this issue of probate, you know, and, you know, all these people that do not want justice to be achieved, trying to make some rubbish issues out of it. Because I asked if Mohbad had a will when he died. And I was told he didn't have any will, you know, so if he died intestate, his properties has to go through those process for distribution, you know, so, and then we'll now start talking about the issue of letter of administration, you know, and all of that. And then the Lagos state laws also have its hierarchy with respect to that, and then we are now coming to talk about the issue of the wife, you know, then the son before the father, you know, like there is a hierarchy in case if he does not have a wife, a child, if he does not have a child, the father, and you know, and all of that. And I was saying, if the father really wanted to do a DNA, right, this would have even been the perfect place to do it, because if your son has a wife and your son has questioned the paternity of the child, and there is a valid ground in law to nullify a marriage by reason of what is it called? This thing, adultery, having sexual whatever with someone other than your legally married partner. Why are you not even taking the step towards that direction? If that is the case, now the issue of protecting the right of the child comes into play also, because it is the right of the child to benefit from his father via the law, right? So, and if there is a question with respect to the DNA, we must know. You can't just tell us that you are not going to do the DNA, you want to go with the child. At that point, it is no longer her own decision again. It is now in the interest of the child. That's another area where the state will still step in to protect the right of the child. So they have a probate. Just that the people that are supposed to do the right thing are also not doing the right thing. They're also not doing the right thing. If anything has come out from the father to say, if my son has questioned the paternity of this child, then we have the right to know.
Exactly, and that's why Baba's
to nullify a marriage. So file a case in court. Let them file a defense. The only defense will be doing a DNA.
Amen. And that's why I say on Baba's behalf, he might not know those processes. This is the first time that this would happen to him. Same as me. I didn't know what all the processes were, but I have learned a lot. And it's up to Baba's legal team to lead him down the right road, to show him the right ways of getting this DNA. But I don't see his legal team doing that for him. So I can't say everything is Baba, Baba, Baba. His legal team is supposed to be helping him to do these things. Do you not agree?
That is where we have like a form of a dilemma from my own side, because a lawyer will work with the instruction of his client, right? A lawyer is only is responsible, is bound to inform the client when the client briefs that lawyer that this is what has happened. It is for the lawyer to tell the client, okay, we can get a remedy on this side of the law, if this is valid in law or not, and all of that. And then the client can decline some things also from the lawyers. The lawyer may decide to say, I'm going to file a case to nullify that wedding. And the father may decide to say, no, don't. And if you go ahead to just go file it, and the man comes to court to say it is not his instruction, number one, he does not even have you as a lawyer again, he has changed you, it will not look, it will not be an issue that the lawyer may have to go and face some disciplinary action from the disciplinary authorities within the legal profession. So even if the lawyers have not done the right thing, we have made mention of this so many times. That was why someone was saying that the father does not know what is going on the internet, and I said it's a very big lie. There is nothing that is going on on the internet that the father does not know. So if he is seeing all these things, even this conversation, has he taken the step to tell his lawyers to do the right thing? That's another thing. And then the lawyer is also bound also by the rules of confidentiality. That is a professional practice standard. You don't just go out to say what your clients tell you. You're meant to keep it within you and do the necessary things within the ambit of the law, right? So now the issue is, who is to be blamed? If Baba Mohbad is saying that he does not know these stuff. We have been ringing it times without number. Does it mean that he's not listening or something, or he's also intentionally ignoring it? You know, there are so many things involved. That was why I was talking about, even with respect to this issue of immobilization. When he passed away, all the money made from the music he recorded under immobilization, the family are not even supposed to have the right to have access to that money by law. If not that the state is not also doing the right thing it's supposed to do. So since they now have access to all these things to do whatever they like, they're trying to see how they can explore those options to certain extent before they say, okay, let the truth come out. So maybe there are some selfish interests in play that we are yet to know. But I'm looking at it from that angle that the only thing that could make something like that to be on ground is because he also has properties he left behind, and upon his demise, he made multi-millions, So maybe certain persons know the right thing to do. They are waiting to take part of the share before they come out to say they want to do the right thing. But I know for sure, that the father is aware of all the remedies available. The father is aware. When the father is always on social media. When you go on a platform and you hear any person, maybe making some statements maybe those statements are unfounded, those statements maybe provoked the father. It will not take up to how many days. You get a response from that side. So why will anybody now say he's not getting all the information as to what is going on? He knows. There have been several what is it called? Like applications, like not the official one, like trying to persuade him to have some lawyers come into the matter. But he has declined. So how is it possible that he wants to claim that maybe it is the lawyers that don't know what they are doing? Because the ground for which people are saying take more lawyers is because they are saying these lawyers that are with you, they don't know what they are doing. And if within him, he knows that they know what they are doing, he is the one that is preventing them from acting, then he will not want to change them. He will not want to substitute them. That is why even the issue of the lawyers that were representing in the interest of the public, even at the coroner inquest, they had to drop them. And I'm sure that dropping those lawyers was not like what we call suo motu in law, like an action that the court just decides on its own. If it is upon application, and if it is upon application, who made the application? What is the motive? What is the motive behind the application? If it is upon application. We now have this issue of transparency coming in play again. They need as much as possible to see how they can be able to have this case within them to do certain things privately. So that's just what is going on. It's not like the legal teams don't know what they are doing. I can't conclude with respect to that because I know there is an option that the client may mandate or may instruct the legal team not to do or do something.
You're right there, but at the same time, Baba MOHB has signed power of attorney over to MOHB, which I don't understand because a power of attorney is if you cannot speak for yourself. Why can't he speak for himself? He's been going to Arise Television, his platform, and he's been speaking for himself. So what is the purpose of this power of attorney for?
I also question the situation, before now. And the only answer you will get his mental stability, which does not make any sense at this point. It does not make any sense whatsoever. What mental stability are you talking about? Your child is dead and you're donating the power of attorney to someone else to pursue the case. It doesn't make sense. Generally, it does not even make sense at all. So I don't even know why that.
And you know, Baba would not have thought of that on his own. He would have never thought of that on his own. I think Muiwa is the one who brought that to his attention. He agreed to it, not really knowing what he's doing. He's not educated by the law. You know, he's not educated in those ways. I think he was duped in that way, leaving all decisions to Muiwa, who's not even in the United States.
Well, even if that is the case, the power of attorney is not irrevocable. So if he so wishes, he can revoke the power of attorney at any point in time. And he can also, it won't even be an issue that will warrant him to start talking about, misrepresentation of facts that made him even agree to donate that power of attorney to whoever he has donated it to. Because we are talking about looking into a situation of death of someone, and then the father donated the power of attorney, and if he comes back to say he wants to revoke it, it's a one-time something. Directly, it will be revoked. And if he wants to go to the court to say I was deceived, undue influence and all of that, the court will not even need to listen twice. The power of attorney will be revoked. He will have the full right to do whatever he wants to do on the case. But then I'm looking at a situation. What we say rebuke waiting. It's not rebuke, it's revoke. Revoke. You revoke a power of attorney. Now, my own thoughts on that direction is, if there is any situation that they want him to do certain things, and maybe they realize that he's going to mess up. Maybe he has even messed up a little, It's just like, let's say, for example, I just pick one person here to coach the person of what to say and what to do and how to do it. And then as the time goes, I see that the person is not going to be able to keep up. Maybe due to certain circumstances, maybe as this case is going on, questions are coming in, new facts are being unveiled, all the time. So maybe I will now look at it and say, no, maybe I trust myself. I trust my retentive memory. I trust my confidence on this kind of matters. Why not donate the power of attorney for me to be doing this? Because we can't afford to have the slightest of mistake from your end. That could be another reason why we have the power of attorney in existence. Otherwise, I don't see anything reasonable for someone to donate power of attorney to whoever it is in a case as this. So I think that's that.
Yeah, because I've never heard of that in my life. Power of attorney is usually for someone under medical condition or can't speak for themselves. But for your son's death, you leave that in someone else's hands and not your own. So I'm really, really confused about that. And I guess he's not revoking it because he doesn't see an issue. So everything seems to be going okay for him. I don't think so. We've had no results in 10 months. He has to be able to see something. He has to be able to see things are not right. I don't know. But he's left the power of attorney, but yet he's still coming out speaking to everybody. He's coming out and saying, I didn't like the autopsy. We're going to get a private one. Why isn't Muiwa the one saying all this if he is the power of attorney? I'm confused here.
So you see, we are now coming down to the situation of thinking towards a direction that maybe there is a high chance that the lawyers know what to do, but they are not instructed to do what is right for them to do. So I think this is another reason for the public to also look at it that way. If you love your child passed away, and then you're coming to donate a power of attorney, and all. I don't even know when Mohbad was alive, where were all these people? What were they doing about him when he was being bullied and he was complaining up and down? Where were they? And then all of a sudden, he passed away, and then you donate the power of attorney to any person you like, just like as if it's a non-living thing that we are dealing with, or an animal. Even people lose their animals. I know cases that people lose even their animals. They go to any length to make sure that if for example, maybe the animal was killed or something, they go to any length for countries that recognize, they have laws protecting the rights of animals too. So, and then you have your child, and then you're donating the power of attorney. It's very, very funny at the same time, annoying.
I mean, good afternoon. I mean, CR7.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Thunderfire, your platform.
Welcome, IT guy.
Yeah, but I mean, I've listened to you guys a bit. It actually seems as if you guys are having a dialogue between yourselves and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, everybody's opinion will count. But I have a question for Ermin, CR7. I mean, what is wrong in someone kind of giving the power of attorney to someone else in a case as complex as this? What is wrong about it?
Well, just like I said earlier on, for someone to donate a power of attorney, there is a presumption of either incapability to act. So it may be either due to absence in a particular jurisdiction, or it may be health-wise, and all of that. So the question is, what is the ground for which that power of attorney was even donated in the first place? And then I said, probably from my own understanding, it's always a situation. Maybe they feel that he's going to screw up some things for the anti-justice, not for the justice. And they're trying to prevent whatever it is from that angle. So maybe they need to bring someone in that they can trust, that they know that, okay, he has a retentive memory to be able to, act according to plan, and, all of those things.
I think he might be on the phone.
Okay.
There he is.
I was on the phone. I think I'm going to be busy for the next 5 minutes, so I'll carry on listening, but I'll come back to you.
All right.
Well, I would like to try to answer that question as well. What's wrong with giving someone a power of attorney? Because it's your son and you should be the one fighting for your son. Why would you give that responsibility to someone else? If you need assistance in it, that's what you have your lawyers for. We don't have such here. If we are able to speak for ourselves, there's no point in giving a power of attorney. He's capable. He's going to Arise TV. He's going to his platform. He's gone to Berekete. So what's the point of the power of attorney? IT guy, that's my opinion. Because I'm in a similar case, and I don't see the two suspects giving their case to a power of attorney. They have their own attorneys to protect them. And Baba MOHB giving his power of attorney to someone in the United States who's not even here is another questionable thing. But as far as I'm concerned, it's my child. I'll fight for my child. I should be on the front lines, to be honest with you. I should be on the front lines, not sitting back, letting everyone do everything for him. He's still alive. It's MOHB we're supposed to be fighting for. But everyone seems to be fighting for Baba MOHB. Why are we fighting for someone who's not guilty of anything? We castigated for mentioning Baba's name and the things that he. I think if someone's not doing something correctly, we need to bring it to their attention, not for people to attack us for trying to tell him what he should be doing. If this power of attorney was actually doing his job as power of attorney, we would have more of what we have now. We've had no results in this 10 months with MOHB being power of attorney. He seems to be making the decisions. He's not making the very good decisions. So that's my reason. What's the problem with someone having the power of attorney? That's my problem. He's standing up for his own child, not even someone else. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's the correct position. I don't think any person will disagree with that. Mickey on the comment section say maybe Baba thinks that he's not well exposed enough for the case. Well, if he's not well exposed enough for the case, that is why he has his lawyers. He does not need to do anything. What he needs to do is to give the full brief of facts of the case to his lawyers and then let the lawyers act. So there is nothing like that particular, he cannot claim this and think it will stand like that. Maybe he's not well exposed enough for the case. I don't think so. His lawyers are there to act for him. Just brief the lawyers and that's all. And then you're even giving 4 options. That's all. And then
Celebrity, what other kind of exposure do you think he needs? He's the whole world now. His supporters, his people who are defending him on everything that he does are considering him a celebrity. So what kind of exposure do you really think he needs? He's been exposed to the entire world.
He's asking again, but he needs someone. Okay, she's making a statement, but he needs someone to trust as well. Well, he has everybody he needs to trust. And you cannot be trusting certain persons to act on behalf of you when there is even probability that tomorrow something may even come out that will implicate either this person directly or someone that this person knows. That is why an impartial third party is the way forward on the case. And then if we have our lawyers on that case, and then the court dropped them down due to an application by someone who instigated that application in the first place. Now you are with Berekete. You can trust Berekete 100%. He has every person he can trust on this case. All he needs on his own part is to state the fact as they were without leaving out anything. The issue of trust, people you can rely on, there are so many of them, including even the police. So even if he has not done it before, because he has not done it before. Yet, the host earlier mentioned similar thing. No, okay, not the host. I think someone else here mentioned similar thing. He may not know before, but this is over 10 months, and the issue of advising him on the right way to go has been on since the start of this case. From the beginning, he may claim this. Right now, he cannot, because he already has all the facts. He already knows. So whatever is going on is his decision. He's no longer within that particular circle of ignorance. He knows already now, and he will keep knowing, because every day by day, people keep on telling him.
Yes, I said something like that. In the beginning, this is all new to him. He's never gone through anything like this. But within the 10 months, I'm sure he has learned everything by now. It's the same with me. I've been going through this situation for 3 years, and I know a whole lot more than I did in the beginning. So it's actually a learning process. I'm taking things from my case and learning things about MOHB's case, vice versa. So nobody can come to me and say, you don't know what you're talking about. I do know what I'm talking about, and I have the facts to back me. So I can understand in the beginning it's all new, but it's been 10 months on this. He has to know the ins and outs of what to do, what not to do. So I don't want to keep giving him excuses. He could have easily, he comes out and talks all the time, but he just repeats the same shit over and over again. That's not getting us anywhere. It's the same all the time.
That's the problem. No, we're not making any progress, And Mickey said, well, we'll have to ask him when he comes out. If I had the chance to communicate with Baba Mohbad on any of his life, I don't think he will even answer my questions. And I'm sure, I don't even think if I apply to even, get up there and communicate, they will accept. Because everything I'm going to ask him, they are not new to him. They are not new to him, and I'm very, very sure he will not answer them. So, but at any point in time,
I'm sure too, because his week. They only allow people to sit there and pray.
That's the problem. And the issue of prayer can happen anywhere. It's happening everywhere. And then you have a session where you're supposed to, bring in people to ask him what has been done, or where do we have problems from, and all of that. And then they're using it for something else. I was saying if we can even get across to Brekete, at least I know Brekete for his integrity, and all of that. So if we're talking about not knowing what is going on, maybe if we communicate to Brekete will communicate to him, so that we know where the problem is coming from. Is it you that is preventing your lawyers from acting, or your lawyers did not let you know that you have all of these remedies in law? Where is the problem coming from? But like I said, they will always find a way to dodge the situation. They will always find a way to dodge it.
You're absolutely right. I don't see any case. Now we're waiting for possibly next week for results of this autopsy. And personally, there's either going to be a cancellation of this inquest, or it's going to be postponed until the toxicology report comes out so they can read them both together like they did the first time. Because they could have read out the autopsy report the first time, but they didn't. We were forced to wait 10 weeks for a toxicology report so they could read them together. And we never got to cross-examine that, why they didn't cross-examine it. And now they say we're going to have the results next week. I don't think so, because it takes a little longer for a toxicology report. So I think that they're going to stall us until we wait for the toxicology report. That's my guess. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but that's what's been happening all along.
Well, that's the normal way of acting shamefully, though. Very shamefully, because I don't think they believe that Nigerians don't know that all the whole stuff's happening is just some jargons in place, to put it that way. Because if you want to conduct an autopsy on the deceased, I don't even think the family needs to even authorize the government to do that. And then maybe the government want to say they do not have the money to do that also. I don't know. So many issues that they intentionally ignored to deal with. The reason why the autopsy has not been done for a long time, they cannot give any reason. They do not have any reason to give. Let the state send its representative. If it is the Attorney General of Lagos State, let the Federation send its own, even if it's the Attorney General of the Federation, to come out and address the public as to why it took time for the autopsy. And then let us know in law how that can be established. Come out and tell us that you did not do the autopsy because you don't know where the body is, or you did not do the autopsy because you needed to take permission from the family, or you do not know that the law permits you to deal with every criminal offense. So the state can send its representative. There can be 50 billion lawyers, but they can even 100 level law students, they won't be able to have an edge over the person if the person is debating them with respect to why the autopsy was not done immediately. So they know, like I said, this country, they do things, they do things of corruption without shame. And then all they believe is that they will keep on trying to delay the process until time, erase it from the memory of people, which is what they are still trying to do on this case from the look of things.
So I am back, still talking about power of attorney, which I kind of believe that whichever way things actually goes, Baba Mohbad himself is not a child, so he will know through his lawyers the implication or ramifications of every aspect of the power is given over. And we need to be careful as well. Why? Because we don't know whether it's giving Muyiwa the full power of attorney or whether it's just giving him sort of like aspect of it, which will still give him the opportunity to be able to speak in public about the matter, which is also a situation where when it goes beyond his jurisdiction, depending on the aspect of the power is given over, it will then refer you to Muyiwa, but there are aspects of it where I believe that he will be able to tackle, which means he hasn't actually given the power of attorney away in his entirety. But he would have been also be advised by his lawyers about the implications in terms of misrepresentation if it needs be. Because once you sign a bigger chunk of it away, you can be misrepresented. You can be, an aspect of the whole case can be misconceived and you can still be dragged into it. So you need to allude yourself to that to ensure that you understand the implication from that angle. The other aspects in terms of implication will be the financial aspects. So you also need to be ready to tackle this situation in the event that you are probably the one that then have to answer if there's any public inquiry about funds mismanagement. So I don't think we need to knock him down per se about why he decided to hand over the power of attorney to whoever within his own space that he believes can actually do certain things better than him or advocate better on behalf of himself and his family. if he actually chose to do that, we should see that as something. We shouldn't actually even see that as a sign of weakness. People have been known in the past to relinquish the power of attorney to sort of like foundations, to a group of people, well-meaning people that are definitely advocating on your behalf. And if you sign there and you decide to sort of like give them the power of attorney, they will then carry on and act on your behalf, and the state will have to engage with them if it needs be. The lawyers will have to engage with them, where required. So I think the power of attorney aspect of things, with all manners of occurrences and going on around this case, we are quick to want to judge that if Baba hasn't relinquished his power of attorney to Muiwa, perhaps people would have been able to reach him or get through, but maybe he did it because he doesn't want to be troubled too much by people. He doesn't want to be troubled too much directly. Sometimes you have a weakness where if you are tackled directly, you may answer and yield to certain aspect of pressure from the society. Or if you pass that power of attorney on to a different entity, a third party, then perhaps it will be difficult for people to take advantage of you. So, but my take on the matter is actually that the decision is made to actually relinquish that power needs to be respected. Thank you.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I have, another view with respect to this. Now, like you said, maybe they don't want him to, or they don't want the public to take advantage of him. And then we now start with the question of what kind of advantage when you lost someone, right? And you're trying to seek for justice. You're coming out with nothing but the truth and nothing but the truth. So when we are looking at an issue of taking advantage of someone, I'll give you an example of a person that has been arrested to the station. The advice why you hear why it is said that you should have your lawyer is because the lawyer knows the right thing and all of that, and will not be intimidated, and will also inform you of your rights and then what you should or should not do. Now that comes majorly on the side of the suspect, right? Now, also the complainant can also have his lawyer, but the lawyer has either little or no work to do at the station there, other than to ensure that maybe the right thing is being done by the authorities in charge. So now we look at the aspect where does Baba Mohbad belongs to, the side of the complainant, right? So what is that particular thing that is much for him to carry in his head, that he will be scared that maybe someone will intimidate him to do what, to say what is not there, or to say what is there? You are either going to be intimidated to say the truth when you're trying to cover the truth. You're either going to fumble when you're supposed to say the truth, but you have a different motive, and then maybe someone is coming to examine, cross-examine you. Take, for example, court proceeding, and all of that. Now, the other aspect is, if that is the case, then why is he still coming out to act? It's just as if we are saying that he is running away from what he is doing. Because if he's giving the power of attorney completely to a particular party to do everything, and he is not even willing to, grant audience to whatever it is, it would have been a different case. But he is still coming in, he's still coming on. So automatically, the essence of the power of attorney is just to give the donor no, they don't need the power to act on certain things for whatever reason that we do not actually know yet. But we are not seeing it. The public are not of the opinion that it's positive based on the fact, based on the actions, the records that have been there since the start of this case down to when the power of attorney was donated to this point.
Sorry, let me correct something very quickly. Someone in the comment section said power of attorney is usually issued when you are not mentally capable of making a decision. It is incorrect that you say that. When you go on the internet and you see something, click on it, read it properly and understand it. A power of attorney, when issued, will remain as it is and can be amended at any given time as you deem fit, and as you carry along until such time as you are mentally incapable. And when you become mentally incapable, that power of attorney now needs to be registered. So whoever you've nominated that is now going to court to now say you are no longer mentally capable to kind of attest and carry on with the process of handing over that party will then request for the power of attorney to be registered, because at that point in time, you are mentally incapable to follow the moderation, to actually follow the process of that power of attorney, which can be relinquished at any given time, which can be amended at any given time. So when you read something on the internet, first thing is when you Google it, you see the caption. The caption is not the explanation. Click on it, read it properly and understand it. It is not issued when you are not mentally capable of making decision. So you need to take that back after you've read it and you understood it.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
correct. The primary reason for the donation is incapability to act by the donor, right? So, and that's being incapable to act, that you want someone to act on your behalf, maybe due to certain reasons. Even the mental situation can be one of them. So the person that made mention of that, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Just that you're right to some extent, to the extent that even mental being is also a valid ground, and then sometimes absence from a particular jurisdiction also could be a valid ground, and some other things. But I think the two major ones, the main thing is incapability to act, and under that we have sub reasons under it that qualify for that particular situation of being incapable to act. So that's the position.
Acupuncture, would you like to speak? You don't want to speak, but you got on the panel. It's okay. You can sit there like everyone else is doing.
The whole process, from my point of view, it kind of come across as if we go from platform to platform. We're just talking about the same thing over and over again. Is there any new development at this point in time that is worth deliberating upon? Do we have anything that is kind of new in the last 10 days that we can actually think is worth deliberating upon?
Do you have anything in the last 10 days to deliberate upon?
Well, someone needs to mute themselves because I don't like the echo. Sorry about that. We've flogged. It's like having a donkey that you're flogged up to a point, and the donkey is telling you, "I'm going no more." And you presented a donkey with water, wheat, or whatever. A donkey is saying, "Well, I've had enough." Yeah, you need to kind of point me in a different trajectory, point me in a different stream that I haven't seen before. I'm fed up of this same old process of flogging me to go and flogging me to sit or you understand what I'm saying? So we have flogged this up to a point now where it seems as if people are catching cruise where it needs to be. The platforms are integrating, so there isn't really much of any anti-justice or Wumi team or Baba team. All the women are engaging now. They're coming to each other's platform. They're having fun. A bit of sort of like water when if it needs be, but they seem to be aligning themselves and amalgamating some kind of amalgamation process. And now seems as if perhaps we're being civil, welcoming ourselves to each other's platform, and we know some other platform have actually taken a different shape as well. So is this all sort of like new dimension taking place right now simply because the case is at a standstill? We know that we have element of secondary postmortem and secondary toxicology. We have aspect of, if we understand it very well, where the family court is now the place to go. If you're talking about DNA, that is between the families to kind of iron that out amongst themselves. But aside that, people can talk about what's happened in the past about the lawyers and the solicitors and the dysfunctional aspect of disbanding this team, setting this team up from the perspective of MOHB and his legal team. I mean, what is it about this case right now that's going to steer us in a direction where we think there's anything new?
The only thing that I know of is we're supposed to hear something about the autopsy report sometime this week. But in my opinion, I think they're going to postpone that until the toxicology report comes out to read them together, because I've not seen anywhere where you read one part and the part. They're usually read together. So see what actually happens from this. I do not have. I don't want to get a broken heart. The best. Can't get emotionally involved at all. So I don't get affected by it at all. That
at your end, the connection is not clear, and maybe you need to address that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah.
Okay, I said the latest that I know of is we're supposed to get autopsy results sometime this week. But in my opinion, I think that's not